Hi everyone, I'm Fatima from the Mid-Sections team, and today we are going to discuss the recent advancements in endocrinology, the workflow. So, we need to keep in mind two important um, consideration, which is what we are going to write and how we are going to write. So, first of all, we'll be discussing what we are going to write. So, our main focus is endocrinology. So, Dr. Srijamya herself had divided the headings, which being is introduction, diagnostic innovations, therapeutic advancements, digital endocrinology, and future trends. So we have five headings under which we need to write. So now the point is, how will we write and what will be writing? So first of all, I would like to divide the headings among each one of you. And that is introduction is being given to parts now. Diagnostic innovations will be handled by Pravashika and Karen. The common advancements in diagnostic innovations will be handled by Pravashika, and the um, disease specific advancements will be handled by Karen. In therapeutic advances, Ramla has already been doing some work and she will be handling that. Then we have digital endocrinology, which is kind of part of both diagnostic and therapeutic, but Dr. Srijamya wanted it as at one section, which will be handled by Asim. And future trends, as you all search along the way, you will be finding points in every heading, so which we can include and finalize. So it's like what we are going to do is in two stages. And right now we are in the first stage, which is collecting information. So the stage one is information collection. Stage two will be paraphrasing. So we know like we need to write a chapter and we'll be in a state of overwhelm. So now we need to do a structured collection, which is efficient and is easier for everyone. So let's begin. What is the workflow? So as you might have heard, I was speaking about common advancements and disease specific. See, in introduction, we do not require that. But in other headings, what would be easier is that if we divide the headings into subheadings being common advancements and disease specific. So now in disease specific, which diseases we are including in endocrinology or diseases which we must include because there are various diseases and we are writing a book chapter, which is a summary of what all is going on in endocrinology right now. So the must including diseases are diabetes, thyroid, adrenal disorders, pituitary disorders, obesity. You can also include PCOS, osteoporosis, parathyroid disorders, metabolic bone diseases, rare endocrine or genetic disorders if they contain points which are, like maybe there might be some very rare disease which has found an advancement which can be helpful in other endocrinological diseases or is overall quite advanced or quite developed and is creating an impact. See, we have to remember this that we are writing content which has to be a summary of what impactful has been going on in endocrinology. So now we have these subheadings. We talked about common and disease specific, but for example, we have diagnostic innovations. So in that, what all do we write? If we go and search on Google, it will be hundreds of advancements coming up. So, using like expert knowledge, Google search AI tools, and systematic reviews, we can decide the final subheadings which we need to write. I have given an example here, which I found using AI ChatGPT. Like in diagnostic subheadings, we can include advanced imaging, molecular diagnostics, biomarkers, wearable and sensor based tech, In therapeutics, we have pharmacotherapy, gene therapy, cell therapy, minimally invasive surgery, precision and targeted therapies. Now, now we are in this collecting of information stage. So once you have decided your subheadings, how do you collect the points? Right now, you are not writing anything. You are just collecting. So you write in bullet points, and when you are writing these subheadings, for example, if someone example is working, like Ramla is working on therapeutics, she is in pharmacotherapy. What she will do is she will be searching information. Now, how will we search? We'll be discussing later part in the meeting. But how will we do is first we'll write the common advancements and then we'll write the disease specific advancements. Okay, so this is what we are going to follow. Like you have your headings, diagnostic innovation, therapeutic advancements. Then you have your subheadings such as pharmacotherapy, gene therapy, cell therapy, and therapeutics. And in that also, you have common and disease specific so that nothing repeats and the common ones come together. And that, how will we write common and disease specific? That will come in the search process. So now we'll be discussing the search process, but one very important point to remember before coming into search process is the reference rule. All your information which you are collecting should be from PubMed, articles from 2020 to 2025. And whenever you write any point from anywhere of the papers, you add the supporting link. So I have created a template so that it becomes easier to visualize. See, we have subheading, we have common advancements. So you mentioned the common advancement, then the source. If you're working on disease specific, which disease, the information and the source. For example, you found a point in pharmacotherapy, like modern pharmacotherapy focuses on receptor specific drugs that target disease pathways more precisely. You write the source. You're just collecting information to write, like certain information will be useful, will not be useful. So that is always there. Then we have disease specific, for example, in diabetes. Diabetes, you will be writing. See, one very important point to consider is we have simplified it. We have made the headings for your book chapter. We have made the subheadings also for your book chapter, which you can make based on AI. There can be subheadings also. You know that as you have read books. So in every point, you can use AI tools, or there are certain other methods also, which we'll be discussing in the search process itself. So this is the workflow, right? We get it. That we have your headings, we have our subheadings, we have what information to collect. So now how will we search? Okay, so we have assigned one topic per person and we have assigned responsibilities, which you can constantly check in the main tracker. So now what we'll be doing and how will we be searching? That we'll be discussing. So first of all, you will be using AI tools. Anyways, you all will be using AI tools. So in this meeting, we are discussing how to use AI tools in a very ethical manner. I'll begin with an analogy. So you go to a library and, for example, you are requiring to know about the recent advancements in endocrinology. What can you do when you approach a library? Either you can go to the librarian and ask, can you tell me about the recent advancements in endocrinology? Or you can open the book yourself. When the librarian you ask, and if the librarian has read the books, which, for example, we consider that it's a librarian who has read all the books in the library, will give you certain information. But you remember that they are human. They might mix up information. They might misremember. So you would not trust them, right? And you would not just go to the librarian, whatever they speak, you will take it and go and write. You will make sure to verify. And that's it. the same thing with AI. What people do is they search on AI and take the information as it is. But when we do not do the same with librarian, we do not do the same with AI. So first is how to search on AI. So always create your prompts like this, like act as an endocrinology expert. Whatever is your topic or your subheading, write that very specifically. Write which sources you want, which references you want, PubMed based articles. Talk to AI as a human. As a human, which is, you have to be very persistent. Like, please give me reference for every point you're mentioning. Please tell me about in all specific details. As much as you can, poke AI makes it more better because it will not give a generic answer. For example, we'll take this specific prompt only. And I will show you what we'll do. We'll be opening ChatGPT and we'll be pasting this prompt. So there are many tools, the ChatGPT, Perplexity. There are also some research specific like consensus. Okay, so I will show you how they're each different and what you can use where. So, for example, we have searched this. So it is giving me certain information, right? Now, what a normal human will do will take up this information and copy paste in the name of collecting information. But that is not we do as ethical people who are writing a book chapter. What we'll do is, okay, so it has given me a set information. We need to open the article. Means when you go to the library, you not only ask the librarian, you listen to their information, but you also tell them to open the book. So you can make sure they're giving you correct information. And you can just go through the paper, or you can just, whatever points are there, you can just search. Like there is find and edit. Like you can find. And it will be faster to verify also. Always verify information which AI gives. You can ask information from AI, but you cannot trust. So like this, you can, further search, but always ask to refer. Now the point is ChatGPT is not very good at referencing. Their Perplexity is much better. So I'll ask the same question to Perplexity, and as you see, it will have more like specific information and more references. Like you see, 5 references are there. But you need to always remember that rule of reference. PubMed based articles, 2020 to 2026. We have all the recent information. And okay, so that is there. So see, we open the articles. So whatever information here is given, you can verify, right? So that is how you're going to approach. We already discussed, you will be taking up lines. For example, I'll give you an example how to collect information. Either you can collect the same sentence and you can copy paste the reference which is beside that sentence in AI. Either you can open the paper, go to that specific point which AI was mentioning, or you can find in the paper, and then you can just copy paste those lines or those paragraph from the paper and then just copy paste the link. See how it's much clear, much reference based, and it will also help you in writing research articles. So, okay, now you will be having certain more queries. Before that, we'll be going to consensus. It's like the best among all, but it's, based on subscription and will usually initially give you free trial, so you might be able to access. So since it's research specific, you will be able to, easily get a lot of references and points which are much more verified. See, it is giving you references itself. It's in writing up like a research or article or a book chapter. So that is good thing about consensus. You can even use there are other apps you can go around. Process is same. Just the way they deliver information is different, how they reference is different. You have to be very persistent. You have to keep asking them to always reference their lines, so that whatever information, if you are taking up, it's like if you are believing the librarian, you're asking the librarian to show the book open, so that whatever they're speaking is justified. So that's how you collect information. Now the point is, what points will you be taking up? How you're going to decide that? So here it is. In any advancement, be it any heading, be it digital endocrinology, therapeutic advancements, diagnostic innovations. First of all, what it is, a clear one-line definition from any of the research papers. Then, how the advancement works and what is new about. And what is new can vary. There are certain examples here like recent trials which were very successful, or recent trials on a certain specific population gave some new results. There were certain improvements, or there were some bad complications. You can ask AI what more new information you can write about the recent advancements. These are certain I like searched or found, and that is how you find points from the paper. So this is like to the lowest level heading, subheadings, subheadings, and the unit is the advancements, and in that also what points you are gathering for papers, like what it is, mechanism, what is new. And right now you are not forming sentences, you are just taking up points from papers or from AI, but reference to papers, made sure they are taken or present in the papers. I can tell you personally, when I was writing, these AI tools make up a lot of information from papers, and when you open the papers, you will find it's not present in the paper. And that is how you will be writing unethically. So you need to keep that in mind. So this is an example like definition, mechanism, the new point, source. So this is one example, a visual example for you all. So now the point is, how many advancements and how much to write? If we give it around, you can write a lot. So the point is, we are targeting around 15,000 words. Like I saw some other book chapters and they went up to 15,000. But our target will be like every heading goes to 800 to 1,000 words. Like we have 5 headings, and for every heading to touch 800,000 words, we need to have 10 to 12 structured points, and every point will have 3 to 5 lines, which is around 70 to 100 words. Remember, when you are not able to hit the word count, most probably you have not connected enough points. Remember the rule. Primary database is PubMed, time frame 2020-2026. Okay, so there is some nice point about systematic review. So when you are searching for subheadings, you can use AI tools to create subheadings for your chapter, but you can also search systematic review papers. For example, your topic is diagnostic innovation. So recent advancements in endocrinology in diagnostic innovations, or recent advancement in diabetes in diagnostic innovations. There might be some systematic review paper. You can see how that systematic review paper has been formed. You can check like what are the headings they have written under. And that can be your headings. And that is from a verified source. Like it's taken up from a book. So it becomes verified. And systematic reviews, like if many of you are not aware, systematic reviews are like if you go to a library, there are hundreds of books. There's this one book which summarizes those 100 books. So there's this one paper which summarizes 100 papers. And as you know, we require systematic reviews. We cannot all read all the articles, but we can take up important articles and make a summary book. And even a book chapter is quite similar to systematic review, but it is less structured. Like book chapters are more, information based, while systematic reviews are more structure based, more. And if you add meta analysis, it's more quantitative. So you all can, when you're searching papers for your headings or subheadings, first search systematic reviews. Because see, if you go around the Google search, it will give you 1,000 papers. But one systematic review will have summary of 1,000 papers, and you can get all the important points. Also, you can go to the references of systematic reviews where multiple points you can find from every paper. For example, your topic is of digital endocrinology. There might be a systematic review on that topic, and there might be thousands of papers referenced in that paper. So you do not need to, use any AI tool or any Google search. That paper becomes your gold mine. So I suppose it's clear till now. Okay, I already discussed about how you use AI tools to search. Always remember to verify. Use AI as a search engine, not as an author, and do not trust summaries blindly. Okay, now we'll talk about the NotebookLM extraction. See, when you open an article, there are hundreds of words. If you are a good reader, you might be able to identify points, but it takes a lot of time. So, what we discovered is there is this AI tool, which what it does is it's different from ChatGPT and other AI tools in a way. You can just add a source. For example, what it does is like ChatGPT can access any information in the whatever is in that. But this AI tool, you can paste information and it will only act as the baseline information for the tool. For example, if you ask anything outside what you have pasted, it will not answer. So what happens is when you paste a certain information or paper, a paper if you paste, you can ask questions to that paper. You can interrogate question, like you can say, tell me what recent advancements have been mentioned in this paper. Tell me what recent new or like example we searched about. Can you tell me whether the definition, what definition is given in this paper, or what mechanism, or what is new in this recent advancement? You do not need to read those articles, and you will just get answers. And the best part is you can always verify, because we need to remember we need to use AI smartly. So we can verify because NotebookLM has this function wherever it gives information, it references. So you can always verify that it is from the paper. So what you do is copy paste the paper and then you can extract points. Also, make sure not to trust blindly, but mostly it's correct. So do not feel so scared while using this. So I suppose we have made it much easier, the search process. You can use Google search, you can use AI tools, but always remember to search or take points from papers, because papers are verified, peer reviewed journal articles, and that information is one information you are sure of. You cannot trust AI tools, you cannot trust Google search, you cannot trust any oral or random summaries. What you can trust are papers, systematic reviews. What we are doing AI is to access those points in an easier manner. How to go to find that papers the most easiest manner. Like there was Google search, but AI will be more easy to find specific papers. Google will give you a random set of papers. And there are now hundreds of words in a paper, but AI tools will make it easier to find the words which you require from the paper. So you already saw the master template structure. While you are, first of all, you are clearly deciding your subheadings. You are deciding like which part you're beginning to write. You are going through the search process and then you copy paste in that template. Remember not to copy paste very long paragraph. Try to find specific points. Do not have any data before 2020. Uh, okay. When you find certain points which are common to multiple diseases, always try to shift it to common advancements, right? Because see, if we mention certain example imaging which is used in um, thyroid, also used in some diabetes, so it will look very bad. So what we do is we group into common advancements. So what we need to do is remember to follow the template. So it becomes easier. And always, any line you take up from any paper, copy paste the source. As I already showed you in the project section. Never ever take a point and do not write, like forget to mention the website. Because what happens is when you will be finalizing the book chapter and referencing, we'll be like, where did you take this point from? And how will you search? But if you keep a track, it becomes very easier. Okay, I took this point from here. I have the link, and then we can reference. It's like writing a research paper. And so yes, collect from the using the search process I have discussed, organize using the master template and write. And right now, just collect points. Do not write anything using your words. That we'll be doing in the second stage. And right now, our task is just to collect information. Okay, this is from some other paper. I believe we are clear and most of the points are discussed. If you all have any queries, you can ask me. And that's it. Thank you.